Welcome back to part 3 of the PvP tutorial. As you see, I got the gun in-game and custom events. If you haven't seen the previous parts, you probably should so you can follow along. Now that we have all this, we are going to start with the circuits. We are going to get 2 event receivers, and both those event receivers will be yeah, those event receivers will be start sync the game and end sync the game. So make sure that you have the events that I told you to make in the last video. And we are also going to get a event sender and place it right here by the interaction volume. And what this is going to do is, since this is the start button, we are going to make this event sender start sync the game, and we are going to keep it local. Actually, scratch keeping it local. We are going to change this to all players. So make sure this is all and connect this to after it locks. And we are going to do the same with the end game synced event. We are going to also have this connect to it, but we're going to change the event sender to end the game instead of start sync the game. And we obviously don't want this to stay locked. So we are going to get a interaction volume. Yeah, we're going to get an interaction volume set lock. And we are going to place one above each of these. And when we are done, this will unlock it. We're also going to want to connect the interaction volume self to this. And now that we have that set up, let's go back over to our circuits. Let's move these higher in the air because there's actually going to be a lot of circuit. Okay, so when we start the game, we obviously want people to have a HUD. So go ahead and type in HUD. We are going to get a HUD element constant. And we are going to get set HUD element enabled. And place 2 of these. And connect the HUD element itself to the target. We are going to configure the HUD element chip, and this will actually be our actually, I don't want to do health yet, so we're going to make this our team scores. So this will be team 1, and we want to put the HUD element in any slot except primary and secondary, because primary and secondary is not going to show you the score. So we're either going to want the upper left, right, middle, lower left, or lower right. I usually go with the lower because it's easier to see. And yeah, it's just easier to see. So I'm going to make my team 1 color blue. You don't exactly have to do that. We're going to want to make the element label team 1 or whatever your team is called. We are going to make the value 0 out of your max score of your game. I guess my max score will be, I don't know, let's go with 10. Then you want to have show label and show value text for whatever you're doing. As you can see, when I disable value text, it disables the number. And show label will disable the team name. And as you can see, previewing the HUD element will make it so it's previewed but that doesn't matter to everyone else who joins the game because they can't get into the chip like you and preview it like you. So we're going to enable this to true and connect our start sync game to this. So whenever we start to sync the game, it's going to turn this on true. I'll turn this off after we're done to show you that it works. Okay, and now that we have that as true, let's go ahead and copy this down for team 2. Actually, let's put this a bit lower because there's going to be a lot more circuits. Oh, I forgot to grab my maker pen again. We're going to go ahead and rename all these to team 2. So this is team 2, or whatever you want your team 2 to be. Excuse me. This is going to be team 2. And we do not want this to be in the same corner, because if it's in the same corner, as you can see, it says team 2 now instead of team 1, and it's kind of messed up. So we're actually going to put this in the lower right. And we're going to change the color to red. I think team 2 and team 1 will be red versus blue. Then we'll preview the HUD element. And there we go. We might want to hide this element and preview it again because it's still saying team 2. Yep, and there we go. So you want to make sure that they're in different slots on the HUD element chip, because if they're in the same, it's going to mess with each other. And of course, just like the first one, we are going to connect this to here. So whenever we start the game, it's going to show us this HUD. And now we are going to get a health value. So go over here, probably a little bit further. And we are going to change this to health. Now the health, it doesn't exactly need a number unless you want it to be a number. So usually I would just make it the primary bar or the secondary bar. You want to rename this to health. And we don't need an element label if we're going to use primary or secondary. Usually I use the primary or secondary bar, which is in the middle of the screen like this, and I think this is a perfect way to show health. But if you want to show the numbers, you're probably going to have to go with one of the upper ones, which, like I said, it's not as easy to see as the other ones. Oh, you don't want to go with the upper middle. The upper middle is for the time of the match. So you got to go with the upper left or upper right. So I recommend just staying with the primary or secondary bar. I'm going to change it to green because health should be green. And of course, I'm going to make the value of the health 100. Let's say the max health is 100. Okay. So 100 of 100. And you want to preview your HUD element, and there we go, we have our health. And of course we're going to connect this so when we start the game it also appears. Now that we have the health, the team 1 and team 2 score, I'm also going to connect this to here so when we end the game it will also turn this off. I'm just going to show you real quick. So if I hit end the game, it turns off, and if I hit start game, it turns on. And I'm just gonna reset because I did not connect these to unlock themselves. So whenever the game ends, you want the start button to unlock, and whenever the game starts, you want the end button to unlock if you do have an end button. If your wires ever disappear like that, it's a bug in the game. Just go ahead and drop and grab your maker pen. It will show you the circuits that were there. Anyway, now that we have that, let's go ahead and get the scoring system. So we are going to go ahead and, oh wait, HUD's already typed in. We're going to get the get HUD element max value. And we are going to get the HUD element value, and we're going to place it on each chip. Oh well, each HUD. Now that we have that, we're going to go back and we are going to type in int. And what we are going to get is we are going to get a int variable, and we are going to just place it right here. We're going to make sure the int variable is synced. So configure the chip and make sure that it is synced, not a cloud variable. Make sure it's synced. And this is team 2. So I am going to make this team 2 score. And we are going to do the same with team 1. The health is going to be a bit different, so I'm not going to mess with the health just yet. So yeah, just do these for team 1 and team 2. Then after we name it team 2 and team 1 score, we are going to get a add chip. So get add and place it below each of the int chips. And we are going to connect the self to the get HUD elements because I forgot to do that, which I always forget to do. And now that we have those connected, it's going to show you the max value and the the value that you start with, the value you'll have right now. So how we are going to get the score is we are going to connect the top of the add chip to this value. So it's going to take the current team score, which is 0, and it will add 1 every time you get a score. I'm going to show you how to actually get a score after that. But just go ahead and do that for team 1 and team 2. Now we are going to get we're going to type HUD back in and get a set HUD element. If my game stops lagging, set HUD element value. Then we're going to place this right next to the team 1 and team 2 score chip and make sure that they're connected to both the score and the HUD element. And we are going to connect these. We are going to oh yeah, we don't need to do that. Or maybe we do. Okay, so we are going to get a less than or equal to chip. No, we're going to get a greater than or equal to chip if my game actually lets me type. There we go. Actually, you know what? Yeah, we're going to get a less than or equal to chip. I messed up. Less or equal to with an if chip. This is why you shouldn't be making these videos so early in the morning, because you end up messing up a lot and you look like you're really confused. Anyway, go ahead and just move those a little bit, get some room. So we're going to connect this to here and keep this 0. Oh, I mean, we're going to get the max score, which the max score is going to be here. So I guess connect this to the max score. We are going to connect this to here. And obviously this is a little broken because we don't have nothing connected to here. Um, we're going to mess with the health now because we kind of need the health thing to go along for this to actually happen. So we are going to get an int variable again for the health. And we are going to have it say health. We're not going to sync it. Repeat, we are not going to sync this. We're just going to name this health. And we are going to submit it. Okay, so with the health int variable here, we're going to get a subtract chip. So type in subtract should be the first thing that comes up. And we are going to spawn in a event receiver. Going to place the event receiver up here. Yeah, we're going to place the event receiver up there. And we are going to go to the custom event that we made, projectile hit. Move this up a bit so it doesn't do that. And we are going to make it so if someone is hit with the gun, it gets their HUD element value. Oh, we don't want to place it there. It gets their HUD element value, which is 100. And it will subtract by the damage. So let's say you get hit by the projectile launcher and it does 10 damage, then it's going to turn to 90 up here when you hit someone. We are going to get another set HUD element value chip and place it right over here. And we are going to connect this to the health value, health self, this to the int variable in here. And we are going to get another less than or equal chip. So go ahead and place down less than or equal chip with another if. And every time that you hit somebody with a gun, it's going to constantly check to see if their health is less or equal to 0. And when their health does equal 0, it's going to end up adding a score. And to stop this from going through multiple times, because if your health is 0, it's obviously going to take a while to respawn. And someone can just keep hitting you with the pistol and keep adding to their score. So what we are going to do is we are going to copy this int variable over here. And we are going to get a add chip. Now what we are going to do with this is, well, first we're going to rename this to let's rename this to killed. So this will keep track of when you are killed. We're going to make sure it's not synced either. And basically what this is going to do is whenever your health reaches 0, it's going to add 1 to this, right? And then after it adds 1 to that, we're going to get it equals to chip. Place it right here. We'll get an if chip. And we are going to copy this over. And we're going to rename this again to something like, I don't know. Let's rename it to death or something. I don't know. Let's rename it to something else other than that chip, because if you don't, then it's gonna mess up. So after you do that, we're gonna connect this. So whenever you hit someone, it's gonna add one here, and then when it equals 1, it's going to add 1 to this. That way the score only goes up one time and it doesn't go up multiple times. Now that we have that, we are going to also let's see the score. Oh yeah, we need to add rows. Well, I can't exactly finish the scoring system without rows, but hey, I'll at least add the chips so you guys understand. Actually, I can't even add the chips without the rows. So okay, I think this is as far as we can get for right now. In the next video, I will add some rows to this, and that way we can finish up the scoring system and I can show you how it works a little bit. But yeah, there we go. So if you enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.